Hi friends, this is my Persistence Project and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I am racing Oceanside 70.3 Ironman coming up in just over 5 weeks. And my ultimate goal for the year is Ironman Portugal in October. So I'm documenting the journey of getting to an Ironman, and I can't wait for you to come along for the ride. I'm trying to share everything I learn every week, kind of what my training looks like, any tips or tricks I have, things like that. So if you are a regular normal person and want to see what's possible for yourself, I encourage you to follow along. Super excited to take you with. We are just over 5 weeks out from Oceanside 70.3. This is my first race. This is my first Ironman race. I've done a couple of the shorter distance, but will be my first Ironman race, and I am so nervous, but getting ready and excited. But I figured I would talk about what my plan is. I'm starting to get, I've been pretty nervous. The training has been helping, just like getting more consistent and doing some big rides have been making me more confident, but also putting together a plan has made me a lot more confident. So I figured I would share my plan with you. But before we get into the plan, I figured I would talk to you about what this week's training looked like. Week 15 of training we just completed. It was a pretty big one. It was a deload week for strength, but I had a lot of really key workouts that showed me that I think I can probably do this. I had a big brick, so it was 3.5 hours on the bike and then 60 minutes running off the bike, which was my second longest ride of 48 miles with almost 1,500 feet of climbing. Average heart rate of 143, so sticking nicely in that zone 2. I also decided to wear my tri-suit bottom. I've been wearing bike shorts, but I figured to give it a go and actually wear what I'll be wearing on race day to make myself feel more confident in that, and it worked. So I wore my tri-suit bottom, and that felt good. I've been eating and drinking well. I've been doing something every 20 minutes. So gels every 20 minutes, and then on the hour I try to do actual food. My ability to eat and drink on the bike is certainly getting better. I've been taking a gel every 20 minutes and also making sure to drink. And then on the hour, I tend to try to have something solid. So I've been drinking Scratch in my water bottle. And then I also the Smucker's sandwiches have been going down really well, which is really fun, honestly. And a throwback to childhood. But here are some things I learned on this bike. It's about the third week in a row where at the end of my bike, I've been getting pinching under my ribs and it's kind of cramping. And then it gets worse on the run. And so this week what I did is coming off the bike, I did run walk intervals for the run. So I did 2 minutes on, 2 minutes off, 2 minutes run, 2 minutes walk for the first 15-ish minutes. And then I switched from 2 minutes running, 1 minute walking for the next 15. And then I was able to do the 30 minutes back. It did help a lot with the cramping, but I did notice when I started running too fast, I'm usually a 13:30 average. And when I hit a 12 minute, it instantly made that cramping so much worse. So I just have to be really careful about my pace going forward. All of this I just am taking as really good learning lessons on things to do and to change for Oceanside. The brick run was 3.88 miles in 60 minutes. Not as fast as I'd like, but the point of the brick is learning how my body feels. And so I also am learning how the blood flow makes your body feel weird and feel different, and just working through that. So I'm learning what I need to learn before Oceanside. Swimming. I swam the half Ironman distance of 2,100 yards in about 50 minutes. This was a huge milestone. It was the first time I did it in under 50 minutes. I did 20-second rest after every 10 laps, just to be able to keep track of the laps a little bit better, but I'm really happy with this. I also did my little 9-mile long run while I was traveling for work in Iowa. I slept well, and so I got up and got it done, and I'm really happy with that. Strength, luckily it was a deload week, lower weights and lower volume. Sometimes I'm like, wow, it's already a deload week again. And then my body's like, yeah, you need it. So that's been really great. Overall, this week really showed me that I am almost ready for Oceanside. Not perfect, not as strong as I maybe could be, but we're ready. So let's talk about my race plan. Just a reminder that Oceanside 73.3 is a half Ironman. So it's 1.2 miles of swimming, 56 miles of biking, and 13.1 mile run. So a half marathon. Total distance of 70.3 miles, which hence the name. It is in Oceanside, California on March 28th. That is a little over 5 weeks from now. I chose this race because of the elevation profile. I had an injury last year. I was hoping to do a half Ironman last year, had an ankle injury, so I ended up scrapping that. I wanted something early in the season, and then Ironman Portugal has quite a bit of climbing, and so I didn't want to do a really flat 70.3 to prepare for the full. So I decided to do one with quite a bit of elevation change, and so that is what why I chose this one. And then I also just I want to be able to test and see where I'm at right now. And so this race is a good indicator of where I'm at. It's also a good chance to practice transitions and all the things for that ultimate big goal in October in Portugal. Okay, 1.2 miles in the ocean. So my goal pace is around 2:20 per 2 minutes and 20 seconds per 100 yards. That puts me around 55 minutes for the pool or for the ocean swim. It has a cutoff of 70 minutes, so hoping to be a decent amount under that. I know I can do the distance. I've been doing it a ton in the pool, but I haven't, A, swam in the ocean before, and B, I haven't done a really long race before. So I've done a couple sprints, and I get a little nervous in the water, but I've also never trained swimming so hard, so I am comfortable that this will be better and this will be different. So the ocean is different because it's a little bit more buoyant. It is in a protected bay, so I don't really expect any waves. But there will be sighting, so it is, I have to stay within the buoys. And then also having other swimmers around can be very stressful. You generally get ran over, and so you just have to focus. One of the things that I need to work on upcoming is sighting, making sure I'm looking out. I also need to swim in my wetsuit. That's coming up next weekend. And then just more and more getting comfortable in open water. So my strategy for race day will be to start conservatively. Don't go out too hard. Just really settle in and just really try to settle. It's going to be quite a long time, right? It's going to be 50 minutes. So just being calm and doing that and sighting often, make sure I'm not swimming more than necessary. And then just really trying not to panic. I am nervous about how cold the water is going to be, to be honest. It'll be probably around 60 degrees, which is quite cold. And then you can swim a lot more if you get off if you get way outside the buoys, and then just the chaos of how many people are going to be all at once. And then obviously sharks and fish and all of that are definitely on my mind. Luckily for the actual race and all that, of course there's gonna be so many people around, I'm not worried about it, but before, yes. Okay, on to the bike. 56 miles on the bike. My goal for this is to finish strong and set myself up for the run really well. I'm not racing for time, but I am racing to make sure I get the cutoff. And so I'm racing to learn. My pacing strategy is to just stay consistent and sustainable. No redlining, especially early on, and then eat consistently. That 20-minute strategy has been working well in training, and I'm going to be bringing that into it. There are 3 major hills. There's one right out of the gate that's a little guy, and then there's some bigger ones later on, and then they say that there's always a headwind coming back in where it's flatter. And so it's just to remain consistent, remain calm, pace consistently, and pace consistently and remain strong. I want to set myself up well for the run, and so I'm not really worried about anything but finishing within the cutoff, and hopefully a little early to give myself some buffer for the run. They used to have a speed limit zone, and luckily they took that out this year, and so hopefully I can just focus on riding. Definitely a little nervous about the rules. So they have like drafting rules and all that. I'm very beginner. Obviously I wouldn't mean to draft, but I'm concerned about that a little bit. So learning about drafting and reading the rules has actually helped quite a bit with my feelings about that. So what I've been working on is long rides. So I've been doing a lot of long bricks for the weekend. My longest ride to date is 52 miles, and I felt pretty dang strong. Nutrition, making sure I'm getting better at eating and drinking while riding, and hills. Oceanside is pretty hilly, like I just mentioned, and so riding those hills to get comfortable with that. I guess the couple of things I'm really nervous about are obviously the hills, as I already previously mentioned. The cramping that I've been having is a little concerning going forward. I really hope it doesn't happen on Oceanside. And then there's always the dreaded, what if I get a flat situation? So I am going to run tubeless, brand new tires. So hopefully not a problem, but it's obviously very time consuming if that does happen. So really hoping it's not going to be a problem. What I'm excited about is my new bike. It fits me so much better, and it's been working so well, so I'm not super concerned going forward on that. I'm excited for the views. Everyone says this is one of the most like beautiful courses, and so I'm really excited for that. And then just to like see the culmination of all my hard work on the bike paying off. Run 13.1 miles or a half marathon. My goal is to finish in any way I can. So my pacing strategy is to start slow. Coming off the bike, I know my legs are going to feel really weird. I will probably do run walk intervals for the first little while, and then hopefully pick up the pace. And then I really hope to be able to, settle in, but then pick up the pace. What I've been working on for this are brick workouts, learning how to run on tired legs, long runs. I've been doing a lot of long runs, 9, 10, 11 miles almost every week lately. So I can definitely cover the distance and working on that. Nutrition on the run will be kind of interesting. I've been fueling my long runs really well, but my brick runs haven't been as good. So hopefully I can figure that out. Yes, going forward, my strategy is to let those legs loosen up for the first little while, eat and drink at most aid stations. If the cramping starts, make sure to slow down and do run walk intervals as I can, and just like figure out how to manage that. I'm nervous about those heavy legs and the blood shifting, and I just can feel everything move in such a weird way after those long brick runs. Cramping, or like those diaphragm cramps that are no fun. And then also I'm also nervous about not having any like headphones or anything, especially like that late in the game. I think that'll be really interesting. But I'm so excited about crossing the finish line. I've been thinking about this for so long and finally getting it done. I'm really excited to see what I'm capable of. I'm really curious how the run goes. So excited to see how that plays out, and then proving to myself that I can do this, because this is my persistence project. Okay, let's talk about my goals for Oceanside. My A goal, which is probably a reach goal at this point, is to finish in under 7 hours. That means everything's going perfectly. I am feeling stronger than ever on race day. My B goal, which is probably more realistic, is finishing around 7.5 hours. This is probably doable based on my training. And then my C goal is always like just a frickin' finish. I don't care about the time. I just want to get to the finish line. I'll kind of break it down also for you guys on how I'm thinking about it for like each section. I definitely did time goals for each section. So A goal would be 47 minutes, swim of 47 minutes, bike of 3:25, which is probably not realistic. Run of 2:41. B goal 7:30 finish time, swim of 50 minutes, bike of 3 hours 38 minutes, and then run of 2:44, which is also probably not realistic. What is probably the most realistic, which is an 8-hour finish time, about between 50 and 53 minutes on the swim, 3 hours and 52 minutes on the bike, and 2 hours and 56 minutes on the run. That puts me in about 30 minutes under the cutoff, and so feeling comfortable with that, but definitely not as much buffer as I would like, but that's where we are. Okay, that's my race plan for Oceanside, Ironman Oceanside 70.3. A little over 5 weeks out, swim 1.2 miles, bike 56, and run 13.1. I'm nervous. I'm excited. I am this close to ready. So 34 weeks out from Ironman Portugal. This is my persistence projects. Let's get it.